Hey guys, what's up? It's Matt with Eight-Six Gaming. We're going to be taking a look at this keyboard right here. It's a Redragon keyboard. Now I looked at the Kala and I kind of wish I would have looked at this first because this left a lot to be desired compared to the Kala. Out of the box, you get the keyboard, a quick launch guide, something that tells you you don't need drivers at all for this one. So there's no need for drivers. Plug and play and go. Now it's 7-color keyboard, which means it's not RGB like the Kala was. The HARA has 7 colors and they're already pre-assigned to a row. So if you wanted to be able to have that full RGB effect, it might be worth it to go a few dollars more and get something like the Kala or something else, Moto Speed, whatever you're looking at within your budget range. I don't know, that's you. So guys, wait a second, hold on just a sec. When we hear a 7-color keyboard, and you may actually do the math and count that there's only 6 rows with 6 individual colors and go, well, where's the 7th color? A lot of these 7-color keyboards tend to count off as a color, or maybe one of the LEDs that you see somewhere on the keyboard. I'm not dumb to that math, but as you can see that I'm posting around here, a lot of companies will call these 7-color keyboards, despite the fact that you only see 6 colors. So that's just a real quick note on that, and while Redragon doesn't actually call this one a 7-color keyboard by experience and testing, I did. Sorry about the bright shot, it was a last minute afterthought. Let's move back into it. But if you're looking in the budget range, this one's a 7-color keyboard with limited lighting functions, which we'll go through in a minute. And that's pretty much all there is to really say about it out of the box anyways. Now let's roll into it and take a little bit of a look at it, and hopefully we can find something that's pretty good about it.
Before we get into it, let's do a sound test real quick. We'll compare it to some other switches that I've tested in the past and you can see what you think. The keyboard overall is a very nice looking keyboard. I like it a lot. I don't like the 7-color predefined set on each row. That's never been something that's for me or that I'm a fan of, but you might like it just fine. I remember the Hermes 7 had that and I just wasn't a big fan of it. But at the end of the day, it's not a terrible keyboard either. There are some drawbacks to it that when you try to compare it to something like the Kala, it just doesn't really compare. You do have 4 modes of brightness, from off to low light to medium light, and to the brightest function, the brightest light, which still really isn't that bright in my book, and that's pretty much all you get. Font on the keycaps might not be your thing. You can always replace keycaps, but that starts to get a little bit expensive. So if that's not something you want to do, then there you go. Otimu Blue switches are what we see here. We see Otimu Blue switches in just about every budget mechanical keyboard these days, and it's pretty common and it's something to expect. They are cherry cross stem compatible if you wanted to replace the keycaps, as I mentioned earlier. The wrist rest left a little bit to be desired. I actually like this keyboard because I thought the wrist rest looked really nice. The problem is it's not something you can detach. It is pre-affixed to the keyboard itself, and even if you unscrew the 2 screws on the bottom that hold it onto the metal chassis, it's still going to leave you with a metal chassis. So it's kind of there whether you like it or not. Now, the actual construction on top is this brushed aluminum, is anodized black, and it looks really good and it feels nice when you touch it, and it adds that kind of durability and construction feel to it that's just really good. But at the end of the day, I kind of would have liked to seen something that more encompassed the keyboard itself, as well as the ability to remove that wrist rest if you didn't want it there. Floating keycaps are something that is on this keyboard, as we see again in most budget mechanical keyboards, and this adds for a lot of extra sound when you're actually typing on it. Now on the bottom of the keyboard we have a total of 7 rubber feet, not counting the 2 riser feet that you can use. They really don't give it that much lift off of the desk anyways. They're kind of, you know, you almost can't tell that you have them open when they're open. It's sort of a hit or miss feeling for most, but the keyboard still feels pretty comfortable to use at the end of the day. The riser feet are a really good construction, something that I prefer. Again, you might not like the font on this, and you can swap out the caps, but it might not be for everybody to want to do that. If you're going to spend the money to do that, you might as well spend the money to go with a different keyboard entirely. Now, we do have a couple function lighting controls, nothing super amazing, nothing super over the top. We have function 1, which is your kind of your glow key thing where you can type and then the key will stay that color for a moment or two. You can also swap between a breathing mode. You can even set up a profile mode so that you can pre-assign keys, of course without pre-assigning colors, but you can pre-assign keys to the predefined colors for a profile. There's also a colliding visor mode here. I'm sure these have actual real fancy names, but these are what I'm calling them. This visor mode sort of combines. They clash in the middle. It looks alright. It's probably not something I would use. There's a spirally looking one too that we'll get to here in just a moment, and this is a marquee. And I kind of like the marquee, but you know, at the end of the day, still not probably a feature that I would choose. I got really used to my spiraling windmill on the K70 that I use, and I like that a lot personally. But if these schemes seem to be something that you're interested in, well then there you go. Maybe it's something that you like. I don't know. It's all subjective to each person's different taste. The ripple effect has always been neat. I used to use the ripple effect. I just thought it was fun to be able to type and see it ripple out like that. So that was something that was fun to me. But if you don't like any of that, you can always set it to static color on or turn the colors off entirely. It's a non-braided 5.5 foot USB cable. Nothing super fancy here, but you didn't pay for anything super fancy when you got this keyboard.
Well guys, that's pretty much it. A quick look at the Redragon HARA keyboard. I hope it was somewhat informative and helpful if you've been looking for it, and have a great day, night, whatever it is. I'll see you in the next video I do.